going over the target area where we're going to be chasing, as well as the potential impacts, as well as a few complications within this forecast as well. So what we're going to go ahead and look at real quick, and we're looking at a forecast model. It's called the NAM High-Res. And we're going to go ahead and go back here. So this is for Wednesday. So we have a low pressure system up here across Iowa with a trailing stationary front right through here, with a triple point south of Salina, Kansas, Wichita, Kansas area. And then we have a dry line set up right through here. This is the temperature profiles for Wednesday. And as you can see right here, right through here we have a mild capping inversion. What that means is we have a thin layer of warm air aloft that's causing a capping inversion. We can't get any lift or any thunderstorms to develop in that area. But what we have here is we have our dry line to the south and our triple point, where we have some very good surface temperatures pushing and up into that area, and that's going to allow for that cap to break generally in this general area from Salina, Kansas, south to Wichita, Kansas for Wednesday. We're talking about isolated to scattered supercell thunderstorms developing on Wednesday from about 3P to 6P, and then a few cell mergers, meaning a few clusters of thunderstorm development up here in this general area, and then later on through the night, Wednesday night and a very early Thursday morning, we'll have some more of a linear mode right through this area through here. So when we're talking about forecasting, we're going to have a decent amount of moisture return in the area. And right here, this is where our stationary front is. And what we like to call, this is actually called frontal pooling. It's where we have northerly advection and rapid return of moisture into this area, and basically it's pooling on the front right through here. And we like to see that because that means that a lot of that moisture is becoming stationary and stagnant in that area. So you're going to have higher dew point profiles generally in this area. You have a dry line down here to the south across parts of western Oklahoma and parts of the Texas Panhandle, Caprock area. You have your triple point right through here. And this is what I like to see when we're talking about the triple point. We call this is what's called a dry line bulge. And what this is basically where you have backed winds, you have very good westerlies, and you have really good northerlies right through here. And that creates that rotational effect we like to see in this environment. So a few tornadoes do seem possible in this area, as well as along the frontal zone right through here, and then the triple point that we have right through here. So large hail greater than 2 inches in diameter, and then some isolated damaging wind gusts as well. We'll be back over in Kansas chasing again, and then we're going to be chasing down in parts of Arkansas and southern Missouri on Thursday. And then for Friday, we're going to be down in parts of the southern Arkansas and Mississippi areas chasing too. So we got 3 days of active chasing coming up and live streaming. Right through here, this will change. We are 45 hours out, but this is a very noteworthy feature right through here that I love to see when it comes to severe weather. Now, we do have a capping inversion, but generally the capping inversion will be weaker right through this area, right through here. Right through here. The capping inversion will be a lot weaker right through here. So thunderstorm development, we should see some thunderstorm development between 3 and 6 p.m. Some isolated supercells should start to develop from the Salina, Kansas area down to the Wichita, Kansas area, and points a bit to the west-southwest of the Wichita, Kansas area and the Salina, Kansas area Wednesday. Those, if we can get those to develop, those will be our biggest tornado potential. Will be from about 4:30 to about 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, and from the Salina, Kansas area down to the Wichita, Kansas area, and points west of Wichita just a little bit. So that's going to be our main target area for that day as well. And this is what we like to call forecast sounding. And this is actually a pretty decent forecast sounding where we have actually a very good hodograph here. It's what we like to see. And then we also have surface-based CAPE. I mean, it's pretty incredible. We're looking at 5,000 surface-based CAPE. So I'm going to be a little bit on the conservative side, say more like 2,800 CAPE. Mixed layer looks pretty good. Let's see here what else we can see. Effective inflow is a decent number on the effective inflow layer. Surface CAPE 3 kilometers, pretty decent as well. We have good backing, good surface wind profiles. 200 millibars to 500 millibars, between about 450 millibars and 200 millibars. Decent wind profiles with some good backing as well. LFC, LCL is pretty close together. Pretty decent sounding. This is for the Wichita, Kansas area. The sounding is, and it looks very good. This is the atmospheric sounding. So one of the other things we're going to go ahead and look at, this is the surface-based CAPE, and it's pretty decent. I would say pretty decent. And these CAPE values are very substantial, very substantial CAPE values. Any thunderstorm that goes up from the Salina, Kansas area down to the Wichita, Kansas area has the potential to produce some very big hail, very big hail, 2 inches plus, and the potential to see some few 1 to 2 tornadoes potentially on Wednesday. Like I said, the biggest tornado potential is going to be between 4:30 and 6:30 on Wednesday, with any isolated supercells that develop in that area. And the CAPE values are pretty good. Surface-based CAPE values are pretty substantial. Now, another thing we're going to look at here is the supercell composite index, and getting some pretty good numbers. Now, I don't usually like to look at the supercell composite index this early. But some of the numbers are decent. I mean, some of them are decent, and they're pretty consistent with the other forecast models as well. So I really do like this setup. It's been trending upward the last few days, and it's been very consistent. It's only going to take 1 or 2 supercells in this environment to really start to root down to the surface and get involved. And I do think we could probably see a noodle or a weaker tornado, maybe a weaker tornado on Wednesday, if surface and atmospheric dynamics can come together and whatnot. So, but generally, right on that triple point, torcon parameters do kind of shoot up pretty significantly. But it is going to be for generally from about 4:30 to 7 o'clock. Generally in that area from the Salina, Kansas area down to the Wichita, Kansas area is looking pretty decent. And then I do think that we'll have some cell mergers later on in the early morning hours on Thursday between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. That will be more of a linear mode with some embedded bookend rotation on it. This could be some embedded rotation in that a couple of those line segments that are in the area at that time. So that concludes this update with the severe weather potential. Please stay tuned. We're going to be live chasing Wednesday, live streaming on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, and on a few other places too. So stay tuned for that. Live streaming should begin about 4:30 or 5 o'clock on Wednesday. As this does have the potential, then we'll also be chasing down on Thursday. We'll be chasing in Arkansas, and then on Friday we're going to be chasing down in Mississippi and parts of extreme southern Arkansas. And I'm kind of looking at the Greenville, Mississippi area right now, and points slightly towards the northwest, maybe towards Keogh, Arkansas, and southeast of Little Rock right now. I wanna go.